Hello, good evening. The team is made of Emilio, Raúl, Santiago, Galilea, and your server Julian. We will talk about gender inequality in the social field of sport in general. We will talk about the lack of opportunities that women have and the unequal ways that they experience. Here we are trying to make readers reflect on the subject, think about it thoroughly, and put good behaviors into practice. In resume, we will interview people who have experienced these inequalities, and we will ask them about the subject so that they can give us their point of view, which is very important to understand it.
Historical context. Unfortunately, we can see inequality not only in the salary wages between male and female athletes receive, but also in the opportunities of fame and recognition. This problem starts in the past, long before, when women were not allowed to practice in sports. It was prohibited.
Soy Tanibet Córdoba, juego fútbol soccer y empecé a jugarlo en quinto de primaria. En mi opinión, sí hay cierta desigualdad en la actualidad en el deporte. Por ejemplo, el fútbol soccer. El femenil tiene años de haber empezado cuando el varonil lleva mucho más tiempo y no se le da la misma atención que al varonil. Y siento que esto está mal porque al final es un deporte y se hace lo mismo.
As the times progressed, it was accepted more. Clearly, with these gaps of inequality towards women who try to start sport careers. This social and cultural problem affects women who are trying to start or continue their favorite sports, in which they want to be professionals, and clearly they are. The problem here is that the opportunities that are given of the two opposite genders. This continues to be a world-class problem on which we have to work little by little.
Hi, my name is Emiliano. I'm 20 years old and I have practiced many different sports along my life, including taekwondo, swimming, and American football. Nowadays, on the mentioned sports, I don't think there's a difference between how are women and men treated in the sport. Maybe it would be a difference if they were competing against a man against a woman. Then we would see a difference there on the treatment. But if they're competing woman versus woman and men versus men, I don't think there's a difference between each other. And I think that's a topic related to strength. We all know men tend to be stronger than women. So I believe in advantages and disadvantages, and I feel that that's a good way to deal with that.
In 2022, a man football players won at least 160 and more times than women in football players. According to El Foro Económico Mundial, it will take 80 years for a woman to have the same political, economic, and social equality.
My name is Dan and I am 25 years old. For me, gender inequality is the difference between any gender just because we think or we assume that one of the genders has more power or needs to be more privileged. I do believe in gender inequality in sports because most of the roles for male or female, we assume that we can only play one sport. And most of the times, if you want to play a sport that is socially constructed to the other gender, you have like less budget or less opportunities, or you don't are taken into account to be there. Therefore, I consider that there is a huge difference between male and female, and in sports, for example. It's not the same when we talk about wages in males that play soccer that females that play soccer. Sometimes they have the same abilities or even the same level in terms of sports, but they don't earn the same payment. So there exists. Right now, I don't have like an exact fact to talk about. I don't know, an amount or a straight number, but I personally believe that it does exist.
Hello, my name is Itzia Rizzo. I am 43 years old. For me, gender inequality is when female and male don't share the same responsibilities or obligations, and you can see a very notorious gap between conditions from one gender to the other. Well, I think sadly yes. I am not an expert in athleticism or any specific sports, but I have read and hear and listen interviews or I don't know, on TV shows that women or female complain regarding these inequality situations. They said that they are not paid in the same way, that they don't have the same conditions, that they suffer sometimes discrimination, and in general that they feel like the males have more chances to grow and get their opportunities.
In today's world, Iceland is the vanguard country in gender equality, being the first nation in the world to force campaigns and business to pay men and women equally, after decades of complaints. The salary claim is the fight that many athletes continue today. Recently, we saw the statement of the captain of the soccer team of the United States of America, where Megan Rapinoe exclaimed, "Does FIFA really care by the game of men and women equally? Why is he letting the gap grow?"
As a conclusion, we think that we are all equal and we do not have to experience different treatments. We think that we deserve the same opportunities without being discriminated. According to what we have heard in the interviews, what we are living today is the reality, and something must be done to change it and put it into practice. In sports, you can understand. For example, in soccer, men can generate more public and more marketing, but in dance, women earn more, and that makes us unfair. There are many inequalities present in sport, but it's visible that they affect women in vast majority.
This is a long way to go before we see a full inequality in the world of sports. According to the ONU Mujeres 2016, the Agenda of 2030 of Sustainable Development, the leaders in 2015 established to achieve gender inequality in 2030. This agenda recognizes that the sport is an important enabler to develop and empowerment of women.
We learned that after all, it is a sport and physical abilities are different on occasions in women and men. And the different pay is a present injustice to us, honestly. Go and search your dream regardless of your gender. that doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you!